your area of expertise includes telecommunications, innovation, visual culture and photography and television and media. So what I would like to know, Dr. Sanders, is what, in your opinion, is the current state of information dissemination in Russia today?
Randall, Russia's become a schizophrenic country again. The people who are interested in the world can tune into the world. The internet is ubiquitous. Russia has, especially in its big cities, a very high penetration of high-speed connectivity to the rest of the world. I have students in Moscow as well as out on Long Island at Stony Brook University. My students in Russia read the New York Times more assiduously than people out at Stony Brook read the New York Times. They do not believe their own media. The Russian big media, if we use the word mass media, it's really mass, it's really crass, it's grand, it's concrete. The big television stations, the national networks, are all controlled by the Politburo. They are under the big, coarse thumb of Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. They do not give much good information. They follow the party line. Every week, usually on Thursdays, there's a gathering of the news executives from these big networks, and the Kremlin basically tells them what to cover. But on the internet, on RuTube, on YouTube, there is dissidence and there's all kinds of things going on. For instance, not too long ago, asked if he was disappointed in his relationship with President Trump, Putin says, I'm not the groom and he's not the bride, and so there's no disappointment. You know, it's not like a marriage. All of a sudden, all across the Russian internet, there were all these memes of the two of them as bride and groom, of them as horse and master. Some of them were kinky, some of them were scurrilous. Most of them would have trouble getting on network television here because they had such a sexy edge to them. But there is a great deal of nonconformity in the Russian media. We should not think that the great firewall of China is replicated in Russia. Yes, some things get shut down. Yes, they have a total stranglehold on anything that is homophobic in the eyes of the Kremlin. Homosexuality is a really taboo subject there, but in large ways, it's very different from the Soviet Union, and that's on purpose. They do not want to replicate the power that dissidents got in the 60s and 70s and 80s and early 90s in the Soviet Union, so they allow a small group of people to have more or less free expression, as long as it does not rise to the level of major media or mass media or big media. Now, small is good.
Now tell me this, in the old days there was Pravda, there was Izvestia, I don't know the others, but the state-owned and state-controlled, correct?
Absolutely.
And they're still in existence?
Pravda's still in existence, Izvestia is still in existence. Pravda's a shadow of its former self. It used to have like 12 million subscribers because you had to be reading the party newspaper to see what the party was saying. Now, if it has 100,000, it's a lot. The real information powerhouse is the national television networks, where 70 to 85% of the country gets their information. But what's happened is there's this generational split. The people over 35 watch television and hear the party line. The people under 35, they've got their mobile devices just like we have our mobile devices. And yeah, a lot of them are just watching rock groups on TV. A lot of them can tell you about what's going on in the Paris catwalk or whatever they're interested in abroad. But some of them are watching news about people who are in opposition to Putin and his regime, who say that he is a crook. And there's a man named Alexei Navalny who wants to run against him as president, who says that he is in charge of a party of thieves and crooks. And they watch him. He's a YouTube star.
And they say this openly without fear of being arrested?
Well, as much fear as I have in talking to you. I mean, you know, yes. I mean, Navalny's been arrested a whole bunch of times, but not for this, for being out in the street and protesting. The daughter of the man who gave Putin his break as a politician after the fall of the Soviet Union is about to run against him for president. She's sexy, she's smart, she's salacious, she's been thrown off a few national shows because she's attacked the president so much. It's as if Rachel Maddow was running for president against Donald Trump today. And she's not going to win.
Okay, so you're giving me this impression, this picture of a free speech Russia.
It's a free speech for a minority of people who care about it, who do it online. It's not in public. It's on people's phones.
Okay.
It's not. You don't go and see billboards for opposition candidates, but it's there. They have the ability if they want it. The clue is most people don't want this. Most people don't want the discomfort, the upset, the tumult of that thing we call democracy. Having been through the 1990s, they want solidity. They want something that they can put their feet down on. They don't want a quicksand society. Most people in Russia actually like what Putin's doing most of the time because he's restored stability. He's brought some kind of economic prosperity. People don't have to worry about how they're going to be able to pay for their grandmother's funeral. That was a problem. He's done away in his harsh, crass, cruel, corrupt, exploitative way. He has put some stability back into the Russian populace, and that's popular, so people don't want to pay attention to these dissidents.